Hello there, you're tuned in to 7Edition. I'm Sabrina Zainal and these are your headlines. Government mulling privatized prisons to ease overcrowding. Cops to reopen probe into Dutch model's death. And Israeli Prime Minister charged with bribery and fraud. We begin tonight with this story. The government may consider setting up privately managed prisons to solve the overcrowding problem in Malaysian jails. The Deputy Home Minister said he had seen how privately managed prisons were run in a recent working trip to the United Kingdom and has tasked the Prisons Department to look into the feasibility of having similar facilities here. Now, he explained that this could also reduce the stress on government coffers as maintaining and managing prisons are expensive. If private prisons prove to be a feasible solution, as is said, they are likely to house low to medium risk inmates. Malaysia's 38 prisons can only hold about 52,000 inmates, and they are now at 40% over capacity. Separately, Aziz added that 3 of 6 prisons in Seremban, Pangkalan Cepa and Batu Gajah are still using the bucket system for sanitation. He said the government will be upgrading these prisons next year to meet new standards. Meanwhile, police rescued a 23-year-old Indian national who was abducted at Section 25 in Shah Alam, Selangor last week. 4 suspected kidnappers, including a 17-year-old who was sitting for SPM examination, were also arrested.
Pada 14/11 jam lebih kurang 7 pagi, seorang pengadu iaitu perempuan berbangsa Indonesia telah menerima panggilan telefon daripada seorang rakan daripada mangsa yang mengatakan bahawa rakannya telah dilarikan oleh 4 lelaki India dengan menggunakan kenderaan sebuah peloton saga berwarna merah. Nombor pendaftaran tidak pasti semasa mereka berdua berjalan kaki nak pergi ke tempat kerja.
Shah Alam OCPD ACP Baharudin Mat Isa said a team from the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, was dispatched to the crime scene at Taman Sri Muda. They noticed a suspicious-looking car which sped off when approached. The 3 shots were fired at the speeding vehicle, which later crashed by the roadside. Police arrested the 4 suspects, and rescued the victim. Initial investigation showed the abductors demanded 2,000 ringgit to release the victim. Ten Tafiz students in Pasir Putih were arrested after a 30-second video went viral this week. The clip shows the students bullying their 14-year-old classmate, and the reason? Because he had refused to do their homework. This video shows the boy sitting on the floor being pushed around until he finally retaliates against one of them. The victim lodged a police report immediately after the assault at the Pasir Putih police station. Officers arrested the boys, took their statements and released them on police bail. The victim's father reportedly said that this was the 2nd time his son had been bullied. He had thought the matter would be settled between the students and didn't expect it to happen again until now. Now moving on, almost 2 years after Dutch model Ivana Smit fell to her death from a KL condo, the High Court set aside the coroner's decision, ruling that it was caused by a person and not misadventure. Police will now reopen investigations into her death. Earlier this year, Coroner Mahyun Talib agreed with the findings of a Dutch pathologist that Smit and her hosts Alex Johnson and Luna Almaz might have been involved in a scuffle before her death. Mahyun's verdict, however, was that Smit died of misadventure and that no one was criminally liable for the model's death, a verdict that was inconsistent with her findings. Smit was found dead on December 7, 2017, after falling from Cap Square residences on Jalan Dangwangi. The American couple claimed to have partied together and had sex with her before she died, but maintained their innocence, saying the model died due to her own youthful recklessness. In other news, in Penang, several floors of the state government's administrative center at Komtar in Georgetown were flooded today, forcing thousands of workers to evacuate the building. The incident occurred due to an error during maintenance work by the contractor's workers.
In a statement issued today, the building's management, PDC 7Edition Berhad, said a contractor's workmen who had been appointed to replace major components of the fire system in Komtar had accidentally opened a strainer without turning off the water supply. This caused water to gush out of the pipe and flow downstairs. The water supply was shut off immediately, however. Large amount of water continued to run down to the lower floors of the building. As a precaution to prevent further damage, all high zone lifts also were immediately shut down. However, the lifts at the mid and lower zones are still operational. The situation was back to normal by 2 p.m. PDC 7Edition also assured the incident will not cause a water supply shortage at the building. Photos and videos of the flooding also went viral earlier today. Fortunately, there were no untoward incidents.
The East Coast Rail Link ECRL project will be unveiling its proposed realignment from Kota Bharu to Dungun on Monday. Malaysia Rail Link Sundaram Berhad MRL in a statement today said the public would be able to give feedback and suggestions during its 3-month public inspection exercise for the stretch, also known as Section A, comprising a 210.4-kilometre main line, a 14.4-kilometre proposed future spur line, and 6 passenger and freight stations. The ECRL realignment for Section A had proposed 2 stations for Kelantan, namely Kota Bharu and Pasir Puteh, while Terengganu will have 4 stations located at Jerte, Bandar Permaisuri, Kuala Terengganu and Dungun. The 14.4-kilometre proposed future spur line is expected to link the ECRL main line in Kelantan with the port of Tok Bali. The 44 billion ringgit rail project is scheduled for completion by December 2026 and is expected to cut travel time between Kota Bharu and Putrajaya in just 4 hours. Now, Singapore hanged a 36-year-old Malaysian man for drug trafficking today, despite last-minute appeals from the Malaysian government. He was convicted and sentenced to death for trafficking 16.56 grams of diamorphine, or pure heroin, into Singapore in March 2017. His plea for clemency was rejected in July this year. Now, the minister in the Prime Minister's department, Datuk Liew Vui Keong, earlier this week had also pleaded with Singapore to show him mercy to no avail. The Republic's Law and Home Affairs Ministries, in a joint statement today, said it had the sovereign right to use the death penalty against drug offenders and expects other countries to respect its laws. It added that foreigners cannot expect different treatment as Singaporean laws apply equally to all. Singapore said the death penalty is an important component of the island state's comprehensive anti-drug strategy and has been an effective deterrent. Now, when we return, a Sydney man charged for brutal assault on pregnant woman. The details next. We're back with foreign news. Israel's embattled Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was indicted on a range of corruption charges on Thursday, potentially spelling an end to his decades-long political career. Attorney General Avichai Mandelblit decided to file charges against Netanyahu for offences of receiving a bribe, fraud and breach of trust.
זוהי החובה שלי כלפי אזרחי המדינה, אשר האינטרס הציבורי מחייב כי יחיו במדינה שבה אין אדם שהוא מעל החוק, במדינה שבה חשדות למעשי שחיתות נבדקים ונחקרים, למען גילוי האמת ומיצוי הדין שהדבר נדרש. זוהי המשמעות הבסיסית ביותר של שלטון החוק במדינה דמוקרטית. מהסיבה הזו בדיוק, היום הזה הוא אמנם יום קשה, אבל הוא גם יום חשוב.
Netanyahu, who strongly denies all the charges and labels his indictment as a coup attempt, becomes the first Israeli prime minister to be indicted while in office. Netanyahu is suspected of wrongfully accepting $264,000 worth of gifts, which prosecutors said included cigars and champagne from tycoons, and of dispensing favors in alleged bids for improved coverage by an Israeli newspaper and a website. He could face up to 10 years in prison if convicted of bribery and a maximum 3-year term for fraud and breach of trust. An indictment against Israel's longest-serving leader would raise more uncertainty over who will ultimately lead a country mired in political chaos after 2 inconclusive elections this year. Next, authorities in China released what they say is a confession by detained former British consular employee Simon Cheng, who earlier this week claimed he was tortured by police in August. Cheng, a 28-year-old Hong Kong citizen who was detained for 15 days while on a trip to mainland China earlier this year, alleged Chinese secret police repeatedly interrogated him about the UK's role in Hong Kong's protests and about his own participation and that of his friends. In a Facebook post on Wednesday, Cheng said he took part in the city's protests but did not break any laws. Cheng approached protesters on Telegram and other social media as part of his job to evaluate travel alerts and protect British citizens. He was returning from a business trip in August in Shenzhen when police arrested him on the Chinese side of the West Hong Kong Kowloon railway station. According to Cheng, he was then handed over to State Security Bureau officials and detained in Shenzhen. He claimed that he was beaten, blindfolded, deprived of sleep, chained spread-eagled, and forced to hold stress positions for hours at a time. However, he added that they stopped applying physical torture after 1 week when he became too weak to talk. Cheng said he ultimately agreed to a filmed confession at the detention center under duress and was released after falsely confessing to soliciting prostitution and betraying the motherland. CNN reported Britain's Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab endorsed many of Cheng's claims, saying in a statement that his mistreatment while in detention amounts to torture. China responded with Foreign Minister Geng Shuang telling reporters that Cheng made a full confession and that the Public Security Bureau guaranteed all his rights and interests according to law. Cheng is currently seeking asylum in an unnamed third country. Updates on the Hong Kong protest. At least 8 protesters who had been holding out at a trashed Hong Kong university surrendered to police in the early hours of Friday, while others desperately searched for escape routes as riot officers surrounded the campus. The siege at the Polytechnic University on the Kowloon Peninsula appeared to be nearing an end, with the number of protesters dwindling to less than 100, days after some of the worst violence since anti-government demonstrations escalated in June. Meanwhile, the Hong Kong police urged remaining protesters occupying the university to leave, promising that those under 18 would not be arrested. Demonstrators are unsettled at what they see as China meddling in freedoms promised to Hong Kong when the former British colony returned to Chinese rule in 1997 and are calling for full democracy among other demands. A Sydney man was charged for punching and stomping on a heavily pregnant woman unprovoked in what was described by a leading Australian Islamic association as an Islamophobic attack. Shocking security camera footage showed a man approaching a table of 3 women wearing headscarves as they chatted at a cafe in the city on Wednesday. Seemingly without provocation, the 43-year-old suspect is seen lunging over the table to attack a 31-year-old woman who police said is 38 weeks pregnant. After several frenzied punches, the woman fell to the ground and was stamped on before bystanders wrestled the assailant away. According to the Australian Federation of Islamic Councils, the man was heard yelling anti-Islamic hate speech at the victim and her friends. Police said a suspect has been charged with assault occasioning actual bodily harm and affray and denied bail. Police added that the woman was taken to hospital following the attack and has been discharged. In the meantime, U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday signed a short-term funding bill averting the threat of a government shutdown until next month. Trump signed the bill, which will extend funding through December 20th, hours before it was set to expire. The Senate, by a 74-20 vote, passed the short-term funding bill earlier in the day. The push to keep the government funded comes as the House is in the midst of contentious public impeachment inquiry hearings. The stopgap spending bill would give negotiators 4 more weeks to try and break an impasse involving funding for Trump's border wall project that has gridlocked progress on the 12 appropriations measures that fund about 1/3 of the government. This means Congress will be forced to, once again, debate and pass fiscal year 2020 funding. Congress has been unable to secure a long-term deal. With Washington consumed by the Trump impeachment inquiry, lawmakers have expressed concerns about the ability to finalize a deal in the run-up to the Christmas break. But top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer said shortly before Thursday's vote that he hopes Trump, who has injected himself into budget negotiations before, stays out of their way and gives Congress the space to work together and find an agreement. 2 government shutdowns have occurred during Trump's administration, including a 35-day shutdown from late 2018 to early 2019, the longest in U.S. history, over disagreements on border security. If you think smartphones are an essential part of your life, you're going to love this one. To boost sales of the new Huawei Mate 30 series, 3 of the largest telecommunications companies in Malaysia are offering attractive packages for consumers who wish to own the smartphone. The offers from Maxis, Celcom and DG are based on the success of their last 2 pre-order campaigns, which showed that Malaysians are in love with the great features of the Huawei Mate 30, which include wireless charging, 40-megapixel super sensing CNA camera, AI gesture control, and many more.
Since the pre-order opened last October, the Mate 30 series had received good response from gadget lovers who crowned the device as the new king of smartphone photography. Following this, DG is offering the Mate 30 as low as 28 ringgit a month to buyers who sign up for a contract with the telco. Meanwhile, Celcom and Maxis are offering the Huawei P30 for free for every purchase under its Buy One Free One program. The Mate 30 series are fitted with more sophisticated camera and hardware, as well as improved performance using the Kirin 990 processor chip and 5G technology. The Huawei Mate 30 series roadshow is also packed with various programs to give consumers an up-close and personal experience with the new smartphone, as well as attractive prizes to be won until January next year. Also in the offering are gift vouchers, with 70 of them have been redeemed by its customers. The Huawei app gallery also now has 3 million users, with 1.5 million actively using the platform daily. It offers various mobile applications including e-hailing, finance, education, food, entertainment, lifestyle, as well as other services.
Now moving on, the Malaysian Digital Association MDA has reappointed Comscore as the measurement partner for audience currency, while SimilarWeb was appointed as the body's first ever measurement partner for market insight to provide reliable and holistic industry standards, as well as to quantify digital advertising value. Now the MDA hopes to help the industry to have a deeper understanding in audience currency for planning, transacting and evaluating media across platforms. And Market Insight will also allow the MDA and its partners uncover new growth opportunities and better buying decisions in the digital media. Comscore, which extends their association with the MDA into the 4th term, is lending their pioneering audience measurement expertise and independent reporting capabilities, while SimilarWeb is the industry standard for measuring the digital world and serves small businesses as well as leading enterprises across 190 countries. Bursa Malaysia rebounded from yesterday's losses to end higher today on buying support in selected heavyweights amid mixed market sentiment. The benchmark FBM KLCI rose 4.65 points to finish at 1,596.84. Now on to stocks to watch. Sunway Berhad reported 9 months financial year revenue and net earnings of 3,427.3 million ringgit and 566.3 million ringgit respectively. Stripping off the net gain from the disposal of Sunway University assets, revaluation of Sunway REIT properties, distribution to holders of perpetual sukuk and other gains. Its core PATMI of 438.4 million came in within expectations, and its EBITDA was up by 11.2%. Next. MBM Resources Berhad's 9 months financial year 2019 core PATMI of 152.4 million ringgit came in above expectation due to higher than expected associates contribution. Better sales is expected in fourth quarter financial year 2019 from seasonally stronger year-end promotion. Note that Produa already recorded a huge jump of 34% month-on-month in October's unit sales. And last but not least, stripping off all exceptional items amounting to 40.1 million ringgit, Hibiscus Petroleum Berhad's first quarter financial year 2019 core net profit was lower at 56.3 million ringgit, in tandem with lower revenue by 55.7% year-on-year. However, given its ongoing initiatives in constantly increasing and maintaining production, the group is expected to post stable earnings. Coming up next, man teaches Litterbug a lesson. Don't go away. We're back with Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making the rounds in the cyber world today. A litter lout was dealt instant karma recently after throwing rubbish out of a car window. Justice was served when immediately another motorist got out of his vehicle, picked up the trash and chucked it back at the culprit. The incident was caught on the dash cam of a car that was not involved in the incident before it was uploaded on social media, which led to the man's action earning praises from thousands of netizens. Take a look.
The 1-minute dashcam footage captured on November 18th shows a number of cars caught in traffic at Jalan Sultan Yahya Petra in Kuala Lumpur. A few seconds into the video, the black car on the left side is seen rolling down its window, and a small hand, presumably a child's, effortlessly releasing what looks like an empty waste bag. Just from the looks of it, anyone would pull a long face upon seeing such an act. But this fuming man decided to alight his car and make the offenders have a taste of their own medicine. He casually slips the trash between the car's windscreen and wiper. With nearly 400,000 views, the video definitely triggered big praises from netizens, hailing the man a hero. One commended his act, saying it serves a good deal of a lesson to such an uncivilized behavior, while others took the effort to post up memes and an edited version of the video saluting him. However, the vigilante has yet to be identified. And though his methods might put him at risk, we have to admit, it's kind of satisfying to see a litterbug's trash tossed right back into their own space.
Now updated as of 7 p.m., here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. if you're looking for something unique and meaningful for a one-of-a-kind romantic anniversary dinner, Lounge in the Sky is the perfect choice for you and your loved one. Not only will guests be hoisted up about 50 meters in the air, they will also get to enjoy an amazing bird's-eye view of Kuala Lumpur, as well as a scrumptious menu to mark the special occasion. Originating from Belgium, Lounge in the Sky is a 45-minute dining experience comprising of great food, entertainment, as well as lots of picture-taking. For some, you might feel that odd fluttering sensation in your gut or butterflies in your stomach when you perch down from the dangling platform and realize you can swing your feet freely from your seat. But this tingling feeling will easily be forgotten once you take in the breathtaking view of the city. The high-altitude affair was designed for groups of up to 4 packs, with a large hosting capacity of 32 packs per session. It also has an add-on stage feature where live performances, presentations, and events can take place.
In the beginning, it was never the idea or the intention to go worldwide. So we thought, okay, we create a platform and we stay in Belgium. Maybe when we are lucky, we can go to Holland or Germany. But we never thought that we are 64 different countries. We have, of course, Dinner in the Sky, we have Lounge in the Sky now, but we have also Marriage in the Sky, a movie in the sky, concert in the sky. It's time to create some new platforms, and I know for sure that when we create a new platform, Malaysia is going to be the first one who's going to have it.
The Lounge also provides customization for private events and celebrations, as well as special corporate functions. Tickets are priced between 199 to 499 ringgit.